God says that the sins of Nineveh have risen up before him, and Jonah is to go out and to proclaim a warning that wrath was going to come upon them. But we're told that Jonah rises up and he goes the exact opposite direction to what he has been sent to do. That should surprise us, isn't it? That's not how prophets are supposed to act. When you're reading the prophets, you don't necessarily see this kind of action. Those words, the word of the Lord came to Jonah, or the word of the Lord came to the prophet, are typically followed by, and the prophet went and he did what God had said. But in this case, you have a prophet running away from God. The story as it plays out doesn't just show us a man who is blatantly disobedient to God, but a prophet who is prayerless. His prayerlessness is stark. It's screaming at us in this story. You're told that as he's running away and he gets into a ship, the storm, right? God hurls a storm into the ocean and the boat is being tossed to and fro, and the pagan sailors are praying. But where's the prophet? It actually contrasts it with the word but. But Jonah had gone into the bottom of the boat and he was sleeping. The posture of the prophet when there is trouble is a shocking one. When there is doom, impending doom upon him and the sailors, what is he doing? He is sleeping. And it is a shocking thing that it is a pagan who rebukes the prophet. Verse 6, so the captain came and said to him, what do you mean, you sleeper? Call out to your God. Think about that. It's the pagan telling the prophet, do you think this is a time you should be praying, perhaps? But if that's not shocking enough, showing you how far Pastor Jonah has strayed away from God, he actually doesn't pray. That's not enough. That he is blatantly disobeying God. That he is prayerless in the midst of a storm. That he is mute, even in response to the rebuke of a pagan. But the height of the state to which he has fallen is displayed in the fact that he knows what's happening. What does he tell the sailors is going on? He says, it's God doing this. It's God doing this. The pagan sailors might not be fully cued in to what is actually happening, but he knows what's happening. I know who this is. It's God. He's after me. And so what does he do then? Because they've tried their best, right? And the narrative is showing you how, if it's a scene that you're watching, things get bad because there's a storm in the ocean. They haul out the cargo from the ship, things get worse. They find out it's actually Jonah. Jonah says, cast me out. They say, hey, no, we wouldn't do this. Let's try and sail or row to the, but it gets even worse. So things keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. There's something increasing here. But at the peak of it, what does Jonah say? Do what to me? Cast me into the sea. Jonah still hasn't prayed. Jonah would rather be cast into the sea and die than pray to God and ask him for mercy in repentance. What's shouting out at you here? Something is really wrong with Jonah. Now, in the middle of all of that is a very important question that Jonah is asked. Where do you come from? What is your country? Of what people are you? And look at verse 9. What does Jonah say? Verse 9. And he said to them, I'm a Hebrew, and I do what? I fear the Lord. I fear the Lord. Really? Really? Jonah? Which God? His theology is intact. You see that? Which God does he worship? The God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. Is that right theology? It's perfect theology. It's sound theology. And he still has Christianese on his tongue. I fear the Lord. But Jonah's life is all messed up, isn't it? It's all messed up. Point here before we get to the sailors. Point here. Your idols don't care how much theology you know. Your idols can totally wreck your life and your relationship with God while your theology is absolutely intact.